A glorious Easter Sunday in South Florida. Sun Life Stadium, the Marlins and the Rockies. Game 3 of a 3-game series. The Marlins captured Game 1. Rockies answered last night. And a happy Easter to everybody. A lot of the Marlin families out in left field for the annual Easter egg hunt. Hey, little JJ's out there getting ready for Dad's big start. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. The headline, of course, is Ubaldo Jimenez against Josh Johnson. The funny thing is, they've never faced each other.
You know, two guys who were teammates in the All-Star game, two guys who each pitched 2 innings in that All-Star game to help the National League go on and win.
Let's take a look at both starters, and let's start with Josh Johnson, who is on a terrific roll right now for the Fish.
Twice JJ has been an All-Star. 36-12 since his Tommy John surgery. Look what he's done after 3 starts this year. An ERA of 1, leading the league. Opposing batting average, leading the league. All of those, number 1 in the league. Lifetime at this ballpark, he's 25-12 with an ERA of 2.86.
So Josh Johnson certainly has a great resume. Ubaldo Jimenez authored a no-hitter last year. His numbers this year don't reflect the dominance that he's had throughout his career.
He really hasn't gotten on a roll the way he did last year. Look at that before the All-Star break. 15-1. The no-hitter came in April in Atlanta. His 19 wins last year, a Colorado franchise record. So you have the record from Ubaldo Jimenez, and you have a guy who's going to be the franchise leader in wins for the Marlins and Josh Johnson.
All right, so there you have it. It's the Marlins and the Rockies. They've split the first 2 games of this series, and the Aces are on the mound. When we get back, we'll hear from Josh Johnson as he gets ready to face the Colorado Rockies on an Easter Sunday in Miami.
To you all, a terrific pitching matchup as Rich and Tommy have already outlined. We certainly know what Josh Johnson is capable of, a 2-time All-Star. He's 3-0 so far this year, allowed only 14 hits in 23 2/3 innings. He's even better than he was last year, at least so far, and one of the reasons is he came into training camp this year in the right frame of mind and body.
You know, people keep saying that, you know, you want to get deeper into games. Of course you do. You want to go 8-9 innings every time out. But, you know, sometimes, you know, for me, you know, I throw hard, so guys foul a lot of pitches off. My strikeouts were up last year, so it was, you know, a little bit tougher. But you know, you take outs any way you can get them. And, you know, it's just, you know, my walks were pretty good. I'd like to get them better. But, you know, just give yourself a chance. That's the only thing.
At this stage of your career, do you walk out to the mound confident that you can win every time out?
Absolutely. I think you have to. You have to in this game. If you don't have confidence, then you're going to be in trouble. So I go out there every game saying I'm going to go out there and give my team innings, give us a chance to win, and just kind of make it simple for myself.
We've seen how you've gotten in better shape, especially since the Tommy John surgery. Is that a process that's continuing? I mean, you look to be in fantastic shape.
Yeah, I actually worked out with the guy who did World Strongman stuff this offseason. So it was, I went in there, they did an assessment, said, I thought I did a lot of core stuff before, and it was nothing compared to what he did. Every single day we'd show up and get loose and right into core stuff, and then at the end core stuff. So I mean, it was that's the biggest thing for me. That core is kind of holds everything together. Keeps your legs more involved, takes away a lot of the stress on your elbow and shoulder.
Well, it's certainly a big thing, taking away stress on the elbow and shoulder, especially for Josh, who last year was shut down in September with some back issues. But it's really kind of amazing the way he's transformed himself from when he first broke into the big leagues to where he is now. You look at the body types, and it's very different. Josh has dropped a lot of weight, in much better shape, certainly helped him become one of the elite pitchers in the game of baseball. Josh Johnson will take that attitude to the mound today. A marquee matchup, Ubaldo Jimenez against Josh Johnson in Game 3 of this series from Sun Life Stadium. We'll have all the action coming up next.
Kind of kid who always ended heart sick from a conflict. And in his dreams,
a shot over Miami as the Marlins get set to take on the Colorado Rockies. And the Aces are on the mound. Josh Johnson for the Fish, Ubaldo Jimenez for the Rockies. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton ready to go. Here come the Rockies. At 14-6, second best start in franchise history. Dexter Fowler in center, Jonathan Herrera at second. Carlos Gonzalez in left field. Troy Tulowitzki, the Gold Glover, the All-Star at short. Jason Giambi, the veteran, gets a start at first base. Seth Smith is in right field. Jose Lopez, the start at third. Jose Morales behind the plate. And Jimenez will hit ninth.
Yeah, Rich, you have the Rockies at 14-6, the Phillies at 14-6, and the Marlins right behind at 12-7. There's JJ trying to pick up his fourth win this year. We have talked about his numbers individually as you check it out. Right-handers are hitting 080 against him. The league not much better at 112. But the entire pitching staff, the Marlins pitching staff, is second second in the National League in ERA, and first in the league in fewest hits allowed. So he's the leader of that pitching staff, and he goes for win number 4 today.
Dexter Fowler stands in. Jonathan Herrera and Carlos Gonzalez to follow. It's Dale Scott, the veteran umpire, behind home plate. That would be strike 1. Fowler has been an on-base machine. He and Herrera have been getting on at the top of the Rockies order. JJ misses up and in. That's one of the reasons the Rockies have been scoring runs so well so far this year. 5th start for JJ, the 1-1. Up with a fastball.
Fowler, Rich, with 1 hit in this series, but it's a memorable hit.
It's the hit that broke up Anibal Sanchez no-hitter in the 9th inning on Friday night, and a broken bat ends up in the Rockies dugout.
You know, as we were looking at those numbers for Josh Johnson, all the rankings, those were first in the major leagues, not just the National League, the entire major leagues.
Randy St. Clair, pitching coach for the Fish. JJ right now at 3-0. And the 1-2. Sails high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Of course, Josh Johnson has flirted with a no-hitter 3 times this year. He took one into the 8th against Atlanta, into the 7th against the Mets, and into the 5th against Pittsburgh. And he strikes out Fowler to open this ball game.
Pretty good start right there. Some tremendous fastballs, and he's going to build off that because his success this year has been just a little bit off of that, a little bit off the slider, the curveball, a new look. But he just poured some fastballs in there to get Fowler.
Now here is Herrera, who's been a nice addition to the Rockies offensively. And he takes a fastball down low. This guy who was a part-time player last year, filling in when Troy Tulowitzki went down, has been a nice fit in the number 2 spot in the order. His on-base percentage is .462, and that puts him in the top 5 in the National League. He is 4th. Joey Votto, Ryan Braun, Matt Kemp, and then Herrera. Breaking balls pulled foul.
There's that curveball, little different look. Anytime a hitter sees different speeds, it's tough to keep the timing against the pitcher, and that's been the key this year for JJ.
1-2 coming. Nasty slider. Struck him out. Sooner or later, this defense is going to touch the ball.
Yeah, if you're just settling in, hang in there. Bonifacio, Coghlan, and Stan, that outfield, a bright sky today. Donnie Murphy with the start at third base. Hanley and Omar up the middle. Gabby's there at first, and John Buck does the handling of Josh Johnson.
Carlos Gonzalez now, who is 0 for 7 in this series. He's one of the Rockies that's off to a slow start. But his numbers last year, of course, tremendous. And he fouls it at the plate.
Rich, the other number, and you came up with it, a terrific number if you go back to last April for JJ here in this ballpark.
Yeah, in this ballpark, if you go back to April 15th, Josh has made 17 starts since that date, and his earned run average is 1.37 over those 17 starts. Ground ball back to the mound. JJ has it. Little flip to first, and a 1-2-3 start against the Rockies here on Easter Sunday.
en español oprimiendo el botón del SAT.
Rockies get a taste of Josh Johnson. Marlins get their first look at Ubaldo Jimenez. Chris Coghlan leads it off in center field. Omar Infante is at second. A struggling Hanley Ramirez is at short. Gabby Sanchez in a cleanup spot. Mike Stanton moves up behind him in the 5th position. John Buck hit 6th today. Emilio Bonifacio's out at left. Donnie Murphy back in the starting lineup. And JJ hits 9th.
Not an easy assignment for any hitter on this beautiful Easter Sunday. Ubaldo Jimenez just starting to round into form. Remember, he missed a turn because of that cuticle problem on his right thumb, throwing thumb, where he grips a baseball. So certainly not off to the kind of start he was off to last year.
No, that 15-1 start garnered him Pitcher of the Month awards for both April and for May. You see the numbers for Coghlan. Last night, a sacrifice fly and a triple in the Marlins' 3-1 loss to the Rockies. And, of course, Anibal Sanchez, a near no-hitter in Game 1 on Friday night. Coghlan shortens the bunt. Changeup from Jimenez.
That's the thing about Jimenez. He does have 3 quality pitches. The good curveball, the fastball, the changeup.
Here's 1-2 to Coghlan.
And if you were with us for Marlins Live, you heard John Buck talking about elbows and kneecaps. And mainly talking about the delivery and how Jimenez can be deceptive as well.
Coghlan asks for time. Two coming. Just missed. Next 3-2. That was a pretty good pitch.
That is one, as a hitter, in your mind, you know you got a reprieve, because that was strike 3.
So anything close 3-2, Coghlan better be swinging. And he goes after a pitch that was probably a little out, but he stays alive. We do not have Fox tracks available today. There was a power surge here at Sun Life Stadium about 30 minutes before game time that knocked out a lot of things in our television truck. Down goes Coghlan on a 97-mile-an-hour heater.
Yeah, not only 97, but look at the movement. Tailing away with sink to it. So I think we've already seen a little bit of that arsenal from Ubaldo Jimenez, who only had 1 start against the Marlins last year, gave up 6 hits and 6 runs in 5 1/3 innings.
Omar Infante with Hanley Ramirez to follow. And a breaking ball for a strike from Jimenez. Jimenez is 27 now, and of course the All-Star season last year. Started the All-Star game. Had his no-hitter in April in Atlanta. In the year of the pitcher, he and Josh Johnson and Roy Halladay in that Sports Illustrated cover shot. Infante didn't like that.
Might have been a makeup call by Dale Scott. Dale Scott, a veteran umpire. He knows, not too bad, looked like it backed up a little bit. He knows he has 2 quality pitchers out there today.
That was one of those pitches where Morales was set up out and then had to shift and move his glove. And it looked like the pitch actually was on the inside part of the plate. 1-2.
Let's check out the scouting report on Ubaldo Jimenez. 46 wins over the last 3 years. He's been very consistent. We've already seen upper 90s. We've talked about the slider, the split, which he uses as a change, the curve.
1-2. Just a bit outside.
That'll wake you up as a hitter as well. Yeah, 19 wins for Jimenez last year, 15 wins in 09. Think he comes back with a breaking ball after that?
2-2. Yep, breaking ball out to short. Tulowitzki. That was a close play, and he just got him. Rockies a very good defensive team. There's some Gold Glovers out there.
Yeah, they have a lot of guys cover some territory in the outfield. Gonzalez, Fowler, and Smith. Jose Lopez and Tulowitzki with that gun of an arm. It's short. Jonathan Herrera. Jason Giambi with the start today. Jose Morales again. Iannetta still a little soreness in his back. And Giambi giving Todd Helton the day off. Thank you very much, Todd, for getting me in there this afternoon against Josh Johnson.
Here's Hanley now. And a breaking ball for a strike to Hanley. I think his swing and approach has been dissected quite a lot in this last week as the Marlins all-star shortstop continues to struggle. Got that one off the end of the bat, and Dexter Fowler eyes it and makes the catch. 1, 2, 3 go the Marlins. Both aces dealing so far. Brought to you by All Year Cooling. Perfect for an Easter Sunday. 83 degrees. Look at that, Tommy. We sent a camera crew out in the swamp. How about that? Here's Tulowitzki. And he takes a fastball for a strike. Troy Tulowitzki, Jason Giambi, Seth Smith in inning number 2 against Josh Johnson, who struck out 2 and got a little comebacker from Carlos Gonzalez. Tulowitzki right now leading the National League in slugging. And he takes a breaking ball outside. He has had a tremendous start. His 7 home runs ties him with Ryan Braun and Albert Pujols for tops in the National League. And his slugging percentage just a few ticks ahead of Ryan Braun and Lance Berkman. To his left, Donnie Murphy. Got him. Nice play.
Nicely done. You know, it's been a struggle for Murph with some injuries. He's been in and out of the lineup. He hasn't gotten much consistency with the offense, but that's one of the reasons he's in there. With J.J. on the mound, the defense is there. A pick, got it on the heel of the glove, was able to maintain his balance, and then the nice throw over to first base. That's a nice play.
Here is Giambi, and he goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Josh Johnson moved to Las Vegas this year, and he was looking for a place to work out, and he happened upon a gym that was run by a former world champion bodybuilder, Mark Filippi, and owned by Filippi and this man, Jason Giambi. And Giambi and Josh Johnson sat down and talked about it, and the gym became Josh's second home. Every morning he would show up. Giambi said he had to show up a lot earlier because of the kids. Then Giambi would show up, but by the time Giambi would get to the gym, JJ would be in a full sweat and already deep into his workout.
You and I tried to sign up and they turned us down.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. and it's outside. You heard Josh tell Frank Fort before the ball game about the biggest emphasis was core. And, of course, the back injury last year that shortened his season was a real worry for him. Giambi takes a fastball outside. Jason Giambi walks. It'll bring up Seth Smith. Baker Concrete Super Saturdays continue on May 7th as the Marlins take on the Nationals at 7:10. T-Pain and Jay Sean are the post-game concert. Marlin fans get a Marlins commemorative poster courtesy of Majestic Athletic, 1-877 Marlins. So the veteran Giambi is aboard, and here is Seth Smith, the left-handed hitting right fielder. JJ just off the corner. It's 1-0.
Not missing by much, and certainly with Giambi, something he's done his entire career as a power hitter. He's also been a tremendous on-base guy.
Smith 1 for 7 in the series, a 3-10 start, and he pops it up. Should be playable. Murphy battling the sun, and he makes the catch. So 2 outs, and up comes Jose Lopez. Lopez has had an interesting run in the big leagues. 27-year-old Venezuelan. Started his career in Seattle and spent 7 years in Seattle. Was an all-star in 2006. And he was a second baseman. And last year, Seattle acquired Sean Figgins, and they swapped positions. Lopez actually played third. Figgins played second. That didn't work too well. Lopez had an awful year. Drives that ball to center field. Coughlin has plenty of room out there. And at the track, he makes the catch. A walk to Giambi, and that's it so far. Is brought to you by Toyota, moving forward, and by AT&T. Happy Easter to everybody. At the ballpark today, the Marlins and the Rockies are scoreless. Both hitting coaches probably had a short night of sleep last night. Game planning for Ubaldo Jimenez and Josh Johnson. A 1-2-3 inning for Jimenez in the first. Here is Gabby taking a strike, and it's 0-1.
Gabby ready to start a new streak of getting on base. He had that snapped last night.
Mike Stanton, John Buck will follow. Jimenez misses with a breaking ball. Marlins, of course, are without Logan Morrison on the disabled list. Morrison is scheduled to have the cast removed tomorrow and will test that foot out after the foot sprain to see what kind of baseball activities he can participate in.
Yeah, the tough part is because it's on that foot, when you swing the bat, that foot twists. And you just have to be real careful to not sprain and strain that foot again.
No swing. John Tupain is the umpire down at first. C.B. Buckner at second. Dan Iasonia at third. Check swing. Giambi will pick it up, and he'll step on the bag. And so Jimenez has the first out of the second. Weekdays on FSN, it's the Dan Patrick Show. Don't miss exclusive guests, including high-profile athletes, celebrities. I think we should be on the Dan Patrick Show. We're Dan's kind of guys, Tommy. We're the only announcers in baseball that wear Tommy Bahama shirts regularly. You could go in the golf simulator on the show. You'd be a success there.
We could take him on some hoops, I think, too.
Dan Patrick Show. Mike Stanton gets hit. And so Stanton is hit. Here comes John Buck. And earlier we talked to Buck about facing this big right-hander.
I think you almost get used to the hardness, in this league. People throwing that hard, but what makes him funky is not only does he throw that hard, he throws it with ease, and like I said, he's got ankles and elbows coming at you from all angles, so he's pretty deceptive on top of that. So, you definitely got to be ready at the plate when he's throwing.
So Buck settles in. John 1 for 7 in the series.
By the way, the good news, the hit by pitch, even though some in the crowd were booing, was a big slow curveball.
If you could pick your poison to get hit by a pitch, that's the one you want. And Jimenez misses outside. It's 2-0. Buck is trying to be a little more selective this last couple of weeks. He's been able to get in some better hitters counts. Now with 4 walks and has struck out 14 times. Has banged out 5 doubles so far.
Hit a big one last night, eventually came in to score on Chris Coughlin's sacrifice fly. In a game like this, and we sort of set it up, when you have the 2 pitchers on the mound that are out there, the little things become even more important.
Jimenez misses down low. Bonifacio is on deck. When he threw his no-hitter, Jimenez walked 4 in that ball game against Atlanta, including Roy Halladay's postseason no-hitter. There were 6 no-hitters thrown last year. And of course, Jimenez, the average fastball at 96.1. That led the major leagues. Josh Johnson was second in average fastball. Buck fouls it back. Actually, he walked 6 in that no-hitter against Atlanta. JJ, of course, has flirted with the no-hitter. Halladay threw the perfect game, and JJ was the starting pitcher in that ball game for the Marlins.
The thing about Jimenez, and it's one of those notes that you and I get that we get a little frustrated at. I think I know who number 1 is, but since 08, he's thrown the second most amount of pitches than any pitcher in baseball. I would guess number 1 during that time would be Livan Hernandez.
And here's the 3-2. Buck fouls it off. Now remember last year, everyone called it the year of the pitcher with all the no-hitters. And here is that Sports Illustrated cover. Just a cool shot with Halladay starting, JJ pushing off, and Jimenez finishing.
And I'll tell you what, that trio lived up to the billing, too.
Yes, they did. All those guys in the top 5 of the Cy Young voting. Buck fouls it at the plate. Of course, Halladay won the Cy Young, and Halladay threw the perfect game against the Marlins, and he threw the no-hitter in the postseason. Adam Wainwright had a terrific year last year. You had Tim Hudson, Lincecum as well. Lincecum did not finish in the top 5. That's a real good struggle here between Buck and Jimenez.
Yeah, the good part about Jimenez, the time he spent on the disabled list with the cuticle injury. That's the first time he's been on the disabled list. For a guy who throws hard, has a good secondary pitches.
(3-2). Buck fouls it back. It was a little more than just your average cuticle injury. It was a pretty nasty gash starting up around the cuticle that really affected his ability to put pressure with that thumb on his throwing hand.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't sound like much until you're a guy who makes his living throwing a baseball 95 miles an hour.
10th pitch of the at-bat coming to Buck, and it's down low. It's a terrific at-bat by John Buck. Here comes Bonifacio, and here is the Cy Young voting in the National League, the top 5 in the year of the pitcher. Just look at the numbers. JJ, of course, led the National League in ERA. Halladay in wins, he got the Cy Young. Jimenez had a no-hitter. Hudson was terrific down the stretch.
Well, you got Wainwright out now with Tommy John surgery. Halladay's going to be in the top 5 again. You got a good feeling Tim Hudson and JJ will be. Not sure about Jimenez. If he turns things around after he gets going, he probably will be too.
There is Bonifacio now. Bonifacio is 3 for 9 in his career against Jimenez, and he fouls it off. Count is 0-1. He's in left field for this ball game.
One thing, the Marlins are making Jimenez throw a lot of pitches in this inning.
Oh, 1 pitch. And it's 0-2. JJ, through his 2 innings, has 23 pitches, and that's 34 for Jimenez. You know, looking at the 5 in the Cy Young and seeing JJ 5th, had the Marlins bullpen not blown 7 of his wins, he would not have finished 5th in the Cy Young voting. Oh, 2. Got him. 95. Threw it by him.
He just threw that fastball by Bonifacio. And Bonnie's had a terrific homestand, hitting 400 on the homestand, but had no chance of catching up to that heat.
Well, this is a tough start for Donnie Murphy. His first start in a week since he banged a ball off his knee, and he's had a hand injury, obviously the wrist surgery in the offseason. But the knee, the hand, he's had trouble staying in the lineup.
It's tough because you can't get any consistency going. But he's already made the play of the game. Terrific defensive play.
Got JJ on deck. 2 outs. Murphy takes a strike.
I was thinking about what you were saying about JJ and the bullpen blowing at 7 of his games. How about if Seattle had offense, Felix Hernandez would have won the thing by a landslide. The Cy Young.
Murphy takes in a ball and a strike.
Now, King Felix did win last year.
Stanton and Buck aboard. A hit batter and a walk. And Jimenez buries that breaking ball, and he's approaching 40 pitches now. As we saw, though, the Rockies' bullpen is rock solid. It is a terrific bullpen. Marlins got a taste of it last night in their 3-1 loss.
Yeah, they certainly have a battle of a couple of pretty good bullpens here.
Marlins bullpen continues to lead all of baseball in earned run average. 2-1 coming.
Boy, nasty 2-1 breaking ball. You're really thinking heat right there, 95-mile-an-hour fastball, but he drops a beauty in. And the thing that made it even tougher is that he hasn't had real good consistency throwing it for strikes. That was a good one.
2-2 coming. Fastball is out.
He tries, after changing your eye level with that curveball, he tries to ride the fastball up to get you to chase that.
There he is at 40 pitches.
With the pitcher on deck, this is a tough call. This is why it's tough to hit 8th. you're not sure. If you had the cleanup hitter behind you, you might get a fastball. With the pitcher on deck, he could get that hook again.
It's the hook, and down he goes. Jimenez has struck out 3. Marlins and Rockies, as expected, scoreless. Johnson and Jimenez
would be a good way to put it.
JJ will get Jose Morales, Ubaldo Jimenez, and Dexter Fowler. 8-9-1 in the Rockies order. The Rockies at 14-6. This is their second best start ever, and the Marlins at 12-7. Their second best start in franchise history.
And as we've talked about, the Rockies and Jim Tracy extremely pleased at the way they've started the year on the road. 8-2 on the road.
Morales got the start last night. Chris Iannetta still has a bit of a sore back. And that's an issue for Jim Tracy because the Rockies have a short bench. They're carrying only 4 bench players.
So Iannetta, Spilborghs, Wigginton, and Helton.
Nasty. 3 strikeouts now for JJ.
The thing you have to keep reminding yourself of, this is a very good hitting team, too, the Colorado Rockies. Wow.
Here is Jimenez. 0 for 2 this year. In a game like this, it's always interesting because both pitchers have to face the other and get a taste of what the other's bringing to the table. JJ probably the better hitter between the two.
And that's, Rich, why I love this league so much better than the American League.
Here's the 1-1. Jimenez lashes one foul.
Say what you will about weak hitting pitchers and automatic outs, but you still have to go up there and hit.
Got him. So 4 strikeouts the first time through the order for Josh Johnson. And on a Kid Sunday, we always have our baseball basics.
Well, you hear a lot of terms for a strikeout: a whiff, a K, a punch out, ring him up. A lot of ways to say it. And the one way we put it in the scorebook is with the K. The backwards K is looking. I don't do it that way, though, in my scorebook. Do you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just put a little S or a little L by the K.
1-0 pitch coming to Fowler.
I find it hard to write a backwards K.
Well, I'm sure we can find a few more names for a strikeout with that Eck app that you've got on the iPad.
I'm
Fowler
sure today
moves his feet.
JJ will get a strikeout with some educated cheese.
Two one coming. Misses outside. Josh last time out, of course, 2 hits in 7 innings, 9 strikeouts in the 6-0 win over Pittsburgh.
There's an example, 3-1. Dexter Fowler knew he was going to get a fastball. It's just like, here it is. Go ahead, do what you can with it.
3-2 coming. 5 strikeouts for JJ.
Another time, here it is. See what you can do with it.
Josh Johnson, Ubaldo Jimenez locked up in a good one. Kids Sunday on an Easter Sunday. Tommy's tips for the kids out there. How about a little squeeze bunt?
Well, to execute that squeeze play, you can't leave too soon as a runner. The batter has to get the bunt down. Now, first of all, you have to make contact. Secondly, you try to just get it down. Jason Hamill did a nice job last night. And then thirdly, if you get it down in fair territory, you've completed the whole thing. But you want to protect that runner who's coming in from third base.
It was a big run last night, the 3-1 Rockies win. Josh Johnson, in his last start, had a big 2-run hit, but he's behind in the count 0-2. And JJ goes down. So Jimenez and Johnson matching each other as they go. First time through the order for Jimenez. He's got 4 strikeouts.
Rich, are you sitting down? You want me to give you a mind-boggling number? This year, because you mentioned first time through the order. This year, first time through the order for Josh Johnson in his starts. This is his 5th start. Batters are 0 for 41, 17 strikeouts and 3 walks. First time through the order.
Second time through the order for the Marlins now. Coughlin takes a big breaking ball for a strike. You see that Jimenez has that lollipop curve, that 74-mile-an-hour curve, and that's the one pitch that Johnson has added to his arsenal this year.
And that, as a hitter, is what gives you a different look against a guy like Jimenez.
Coughlin a strikeout victim in the first, 3 hits in the series. Well, remember that one pitch that Jimenez threw that hit the screen and went over everyone's head? You thought of Major Leagues and Wild Thing. He's here. Charlie Sheen watching the ball game.
Well, you can have your opinions over the last few weeks for Charlie Sheen, but he was great in Major League and loves the game of baseball.
Two coming, and Coughlin takes count full down, 3-2. You can see Morales wanted the changeup. Coughlin rolls over on it. Giambi steps on the bag. And there are 2 outs here in the third. The Dodgers arrive tomorrow night, 3-game series against Los Angeles. And of course, on Monday, just go to your local Subway for the Subway Monday $5 bullpen box voucher. In Tuesday's edition of the Miami Herald, it's the 2 for Tuesday offer. Call 1-877-MARLINS or go to marlins.com. John Garland
coming off a complete game win.
And Ricky Nolasco will open the series. You got Clayton Kershaw, Chris Volstad, and Anibal Sanchez against Chad Billingsley. That's a Wednesday game that starts at noon. One and one to Infante. Sanchez, of course, flirting with a no-hitter on Friday. You have Nolasco, who had a strong outing his last time. Pitched 7 innings of shutout ball. Ricky on Wednesday night in beating the Pirates 6-0. Up in his eyes, Infante goes after it, and down he goes. The zeros continue. Marlins, 4th inning, as the Kids Sunday continues here on Easter Sunday. Jonathan Herrera, Carlos Gonzalez, and Troy Tulowitzki all get their second look at Josh Johnson. He has struck out 5, and he has walked 1. And he and Ubaldo Jimenez have been matching each other through the first 3 innings.
Well, they're living up to the billing of this one.
Jimenez has thrown more pitches, 54. JJ throws pitch number 38.
I gave you that mind-boggling number first time through the order, 0 for 41. Second time through the order, hitters are just 4 for 35 against Josh.
But he misses inside there, and he's fallen behind 3-0. lost him. Leadoff walk to Herrera, and we check in with Frank Fort.
All right, Rich, thanks very much, and happy Easter to you. Troy Tulowitzki due up this inning. Now, of course, you won't hear it on the road, but Tulo's changed his walk-up music at home. First 2 games of the season, he was using Katy Perry's Firework, but he went 0 for 9, so he appealed to Rocky fans through a poll in the Denver Post. What song should they play for him when he comes up? The fans voted for Justin Bieber's Baby. Of course, first game with that song, Tulo hit a home run, and they're not about to change the walk-up music anytime soon, so I guess Tulo has, along with a lot of other people, Bieber fever, although, guys, don't count me in that group. Back to you.
Only when you get the haircut, Frank, only.
That's not going to happen, Tommy.
Carlos Gonzalez takes what looked like a pretty good pitch.
First time today, Rich, that either team has gotten the leadoff man on base.
1-0. Gonzalez bounced back to the mound back in the first. Herrera, a threat to run. He has 4 stolen bases. And JJ throws about a 92-mile-an-hour sinker.
Well, he threw some
Gabby
serious heat over to Gabby. Yeah.
Gabby might think about dusting off the old catcher's glove from his Miami days. He misses out, and it's 2-0. Edwin Rodriguez and the Marlins trying to take 2 of 3 from the Rockies after splitting with the Phillies, taking 2 of 3 in Atlanta, sweeping the Pirates. That pitch is out. The count now 3-0. Again, for our viewers at home, we apologize. We do not have Fox tracks available. There was a power surge that hit the stadium 30 minutes before game time that knocked out power to our production truck. As well, it did a lot of damage to machines in the truck, and included in that, 1 casualty, Fox tracks.
A couple of pitches that have missed closely. The first one and the 2-0 pitch were very close.
We are happy to report that Exmo survived. The crack staff is okay as well. 3-1 count, and Herrera away from first. He's on the move. Drive to left. That's hit well. Bonifacio back, shy of the track, makes the catch.
Ball was hit pretty well, slicing a little bit, but played nicely by Bonifacio in a tough left field today. We talk about it often, day games, the sun's out there, it's not easy. And you have a left-handed hitter, when he sends one out your way in left field, it's slicing, and Bonifacio stayed with it. Herrera, the runner, had gotten all the way a couple of steps beyond second base, actually had to retouch the bag as he headed back to first.
The Rockies have run, and they've done it successfully this year. This is game number 21. They are 15 of 18 in stolen bases this year.
Yeah, Herrera himself 4 for 4.
That's pop up. Hanley takes a look at it. 2 nice outs to get for JJ.
Oh boy, I tell you, after the leadoff walk and then falling behind to Gonzalez, the next 2 outs, getting Gonzalez and then 1 pitch out to Tulowitzki, that's tremendous. Look at how off balance Tulowitzki was on that breaking ball in a perfect spot. That's the thing we didn't see a lot of in JJ. Hitters would have good swings. They wouldn't always hit him, but everything was hard. The hard slider, the hard fastball. We're seeing more off-balance swings against JJ this year.
Giambi flips that one foul. Giambi now 40 years old and has been a nice addition for the Rockies. A clutch pinch hitter. He's got 5 pinch hit home runs for the Rockies over the last season and a half.
He's a guy who's made the transition from an everyday player to a part-time player and a pinch hitter. And, yeah, the last couple of years he's done a nice job with the Rockies.
The other thing we've seen with JJ this year, changing speeds on the slider, adding the breaking ball, throwing the changeup, a lot less of the 8 to 12 pitch at bats where guys keep fouling off great pitches. And instead
because they're right on all that hard stuff.
Yeah, and instead they'll put balls in play, pop-ups, weak ground balls. And that's been his goal, and that's why he added those pitches, because he was frustrated last year of getting to the 6th, the 7th inning and being at 105 and 110 pitches.
It's a great theory, because everybody says, well, he needs to go deeper into games. Well, yeah, you got to get yourself in better shape and all that, but it's more than that. It's changing your selection of pitches, and I give John Buck a lot of credit to that too, who's behind the plate.
0-2. And Herrera dives back in.
Might be a time that Herrera would take off on an 0-2 pitch.
Giambi walked back in the second. He's running. Buck's throw on the money and in time. Herrera is out. JJ is through 4. And the Marlins and Rockies are scoreless here on an Easter Sunday in Miami. America's largest 4G network. And by Nissan. Get to a Nissan dealer for great deals on innovation you can count on. Innovation for all. Well, the line score says it all. Just take a look. And as suspected, Ubaldo Jimenez and Josh Johnson are both on their game. Marlins here in the 4th. Hanley second at bat. And a swing and a miss. Tommy, we put Hanley from last year and this year together.
Look at the difference. On the right is this year a higher leg kick. Look at the leg on the left and on the right. A little calmer, a little smoother approach, and more balance on the left last year than so far this year.
Breaking ball, Hanley fouls it off, and it's 0-2.
The stance, he's well open, much more open this year than last year. The bat is higher this year. Everything much more compact last year.
Oh, 2 coming. Up and in. Now remember, last year for Hanley was an off year. And he he studied tape from 2009, the year he won the batting title, and that's kind of the stance and the approach that he took in spring training. At 342 in 2009, drove in 106 runs, had 42 doubles as well.
And Hanley, with the exception of not hitting a home run, had a good spring this year.
There's the 3-year run for Hanley. Big year was 09. One, two. And it's in the dirt. One thing, though, watching Hanley play, he's playing hard. He's playing harder than I think we've ever seen him play in terms of running balls out to first, breaking up double plays at second.
He has made a few throwing errors, but he's also made some exceptional plays at short.
Yeah, the throwing errors are a work in progress right now with Perry Hill. Here's the 2-2. Ground ball. Lopez has it, and across the diamond it goes, and Hanley is 0 for 2. Up comes Gabby Sanchez, and up comes our AT&T trivia question. As we flip the phone, we find Troy Tulowitzki as one of 2 players with an unassisted triple play and a cycle. Who's the other? We're going to need some clues from the crack staff. Infielder, outfielder. It's got to be an infielder.
Got to be an infielder. I would say it has to be a middle infielder.
There's always a first baseman that could.
Yeah.
Or a center fielder that has come in and make a running catch while guys are running around the bases. Gabby gets a breaking ball, sends it to right center. Fowler, ultra quick out there, and he runs it down.
Well, I tell you what, between these 2 pitchers, you just have not seen good at bats, good swings. Because both pitchers just making tremendous pitches.
Mike Stanton got a curveball on the backside. Was hit by a pitch in the second. See if he gets a fastball. Nope. Breaking ball strike. It's 0-1.
We're going to see a couple of good hitters in that Dodgers series. Matt Kemp is on fire. He's hitting over 400. And Ethier, coming into play today, has a 20-game hitting streak.
Well, the Dodgers have a manager that is certainly known for hitting. He was a very good hitting coach himself for the Yankees and for the Dodgers, Don Mattingly. Last year, home runs were scarce in that Dodger lineup. This year, they've hit 18.
Yeah, Kemp's 402 average, leading the National League.
Speaking of home runs, the Marlins have hit just 13 this year. Houston with 11, San Diego with 12. The only teams with fewer. Jimenez blows away Stanton, still scoreless.
So, you know, maybe not that much hitting, but, you know, it'll be good.
Yeah, this is one of those that if you're anywhere across the country and you're checking box scores and line scores, you look at this one, Rockies and Marlins and all the zeros, and you say to yourself, I'll bet you Josh Johnson and Ubaldo Jimenez are pitching. And they are. Giambi pulls one foul. This is an interesting at-bat here for Giambi because he had an at-bat in the 4th inning in which Herrera was caught stealing. So it's like having back-to-back at-bats. Giambi leads it off. He's followed by Seth Smith and Jose Lopez.
Yeah, you always go through the matchups in the newspaper, and you try to find the most intriguing and best matchup, and this by far is the best one today.
Change up. JJ hasn't thrown too many of those in this ballgame.
Something that Giambi hadn't seen.
Fastball. Left field. Bonifacio makes the catch. You've got the swirling winds out there to go with the brilliant sunshine. We have no idea on the AT&T trivia question. Tulowitzki, one of 2 players with an unassisted triple play and a cycle. Who's the other? John Valentin.
John Valentin, he had some power. He was a shortstop, so we kind of got on that middle infielder thing.
Smith takes a breaking ball in the dirt. He popped to 3rd. Johnson has struck out 5, and he has walked 2. We showed you all the numbers that JJ leads in terms of the major leagues coming into the ball game. ERA, batting average against. The other number is WHIP, walks and hits per innings pitched. His WHIP coming in, .593. Wow, that's a good pitch.
See, when you're throwing the way these 2 guys are throwing, where is that? When you're throwing the way he's throwing, that's a strike.
2-1 pitch. Little looper left field. Busy day out there for Bonifacio. 2 outs. Let's look ahead at the Marlins schedule, brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. Dodgers are here for 3 Monday and Tuesday night. You see the pitching matchups. Ricky and John Garland tomorrow. Wednesday is a noon start. On to Cincinnati and St. Louis for the next road trip. You can live forward with Just for Men Hair Color. Jose Lopez now. And it's 1-0. Lopez hit a fly ball to deep center field. Coughlin ran it down just shy of the track. And he lines one foul.
I think early, a lot of times in April, the pitchers are still a little bit ahead of the hitters. I mean, last night, Brad Penny went 7 innings, gave up a questionable hit. You talked last night about Tim Hudson's game. He threw well. Daisuke with the Red Sox, 8 shutout innings, gave up 1 hit.
And, of course, the Marlins, Anibal Sanchez took a no-hitter into the 9th inning against the Rockies on Friday night. Dexter Fowler's broken bat ground ball broke it up. Lopez shoots one into the seats.
Big CC Sabathia beat the Orioles last night. CC Sabathia is 15-2 with a .289 career ERA against the Baltimore Orioles.
1-2 coming. Check swing. Did not go. Two. Pounded foul. And it stays at 2-2.
This guy doesn't walk too much. You look at some of the numbers Jose Lopez put up when he was with the Mariners, some solid years. The most he's ever walked in a season, though, was 27 times.
2-2 coming. Fastball, fly ball. Bonifacio back. He's there and makes the catch. Josh Johnson rolling through 5.
Here we go again, Rich.
out! And this afternoon, Ubaldo Jimenez and Josh Johnson have busted out their Easter best. Bottom of the fifth. John Buck takes outside. John Buck, Emilio Bonifacio, and Donnie Murphy. Jimenez has struck out 6. He's hit a batter. He's walked a batter. But he's on a nice run right now, having retired 8 in a row. Buck takes inside. John was the last to reach with that walk in the second inning. And Jimenez dips low with that breaking ball. And it's 3-0. He lost him. A 4-pitch walk to open up the bottom of the fifth, and here comes Bonifacio.
That's the second time that John Buck has been able to draw a walk today and reach base.
Fox Sports is proud to bring you exclusive coverage of the UEFA Championship League semifinal beginning Tuesday, with Schalke taking on Manchester United on Fox Soccer. Then on Wednesday, one of the world's greatest sports rivalries resumes. Barcelona battles Real Madrid on FX. Great battle here with Ubaldo Jimenez and Josh Johnson. You don't have speed at first, and you don't have a real good bunter in terms of a sacrifice bunter at the plate.
Well, and you wouldn't do that because you're at the bottom of the lineup. After that, you have the number 8 hitter, Donnie Murphy, and then the pitcher.
So was Bonifacio just showing bunt to try to bring the infield in a little tighter?
I think he was showing bunt because he was taking all the way.
Well, Jimenez has missed on all 5 pitches.
Yeah, he's going to take. He's not going to swing at a pitch until Jimenez can show that he throws a strike. A lot of times, just to avoid any mistakes in getting a sign, a lot of times a manager, in a case like after the John Buck walk, Edwin maybe went up to Bonifacio and said, hey, take a strike, instead of worrying about getting signs and all that.
After Bonifacio, you've got the 8-hitter Donnie Murphy and then Josh Johnson. See the Rockies infield. You can see Lopez, the third baseman, well on the grass at third. And Jimenez splits the plate. It's 2-1.
And I would think with Bonifacio, remember, he threw fastballs by Bonifacio last time up. I would think he'll see another fastball.
Buck has a minuscule lead at first. Runs up the bunt and takes ball 3.
Another reason you don't want to drop a breaking ball or an off-speed pitch in there. If he hangs it, makes a mistake with it, that's a pitch Bonifacio can pull. And there's a nice hole over on that right side.
And you speed that bat up. Lost him. Back-to-back walks in the bottom of the fifth. Buck is aboard, Bonifacio is aboard, and now here comes Donnie Murphy, and the wheels are turning in both dugouts. Bob Apodaca, the pitching coach for the Rockies.
Well, he's seen his starter get that pitch count up a little bit, lose a little side of the strike zone here in the 5th inning.
Now what do you do with the pitcher on deck?
It's an interesting question. If you had another type pitcher out there, because JJ swings the bat so well, you might think about sacrificing with Donnie Murphy, but Jimenez is so tough, it's certainly not an easy at bat for JJ, and he didn't look good his last time up when he struck out.
Ball in the dirt, and Morales prevents everybody from moving up with a nice block at the plate.
Good play by Morales. Jimenez tried the breaking ball there because he's had a little trouble throwing the fastball for a strike. And bounces this one, and a nice play by Jose Morales.
And of course, whether the Marlins bunt here or not, Jimenez has got to throw strikes.
And you have to think fastball now if you're Murphy.
He got a fastball, and he fouled it back. It's 1-1.
We haven't seen a lot of the change-ups, the split that Jimenez throws, because he uses that against left-handers. And the only left-hander in the Marlins lineup, well, you have Bonifacio, switch hitter, is Chris Coghlan.
1-1 in the dirt.
He's having trouble getting that over now. Again, here comes another fastball on this 2-1 pitch. By the way, just in case, JJ is 2 for 3 with runners in scoring position this year.
Counts 2-1. You got Buck at second. Great speed with Bonifacio at first. Pickoff play is thrown into center field. And Buck's going to end up at third. Bonifacio to second. My goodness. Jimenez has been wild to the plate this inning, and he's wild to second base.
Boy, this ball not even close. No leather from Tulowitzki. We talked about doing the little things in a game like this. So this is a must situation for the Marlins to get at least one, and hopefully 2 runs off the mistake of Ubaldo Jimenez.
The infield has crept in halfway up the middle, even at the corners. 2-1 to Murphy. Breaking ball, it missed up, and it's 3-1.
Again, hitting 8th. You're thinking sometimes changes, but again, I think you have to be ready. In this case, even with first base open, I think you have to be ready for the fastball.
13 pitches this inning, 11 balls. Fastball up and in. Ubaldo Jimenez has walked the bases loaded. Here comes Bob Apodaca. And here comes Josh Johnson. And the Rockies bullpen is starting to stir. Remember, Jimenez, coming off the disabled list, has made just 2 starts this season. So he is not by any means stretched out.
No, the last time out he went 5 innings. Gave up 6 hits and 4 runs in his game against the Giants. Yeah, he's not stretched out the way a pitch would be after a complete spring training. Spent time on the disabled list.
Clayton Mortensen is up. Remember, Josh Johnson lined a 2-run single in his last start against the Pirates. Jimenez struck him out his first time up. Fastball comes back and catches the corner.
Yeah, JJ's helped his cause a couple of times already this year.
Oh, 1 pitch. Dialed up 95 on the fastball. Middle infield is back. Corners are even. Coghlan is on deck. 0-2 coming to JJ. Breaking ball, check swing. I say he went. Dan Iasonia rings him up at third base. Let's take a look at the side view. And not much difference.
Not much difference. And like I said, half the time it goes one way, half the time it goes the other way.
There was a check swing by Jose Lopez in the top of the inning that looked almost identical to that. But the Marlins do get Chris Coghlan to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out. Coghlan has struck out and bounced out. And Jimenez misses outside. It's 1-0.
I'm really surprised, not totally, that they're playing back, the middle infielders playing back for a double play. Because if they don't get the double play on a ground ball, the Marlins get a run. And one run might be all Josh Johnson needs today.
Got Giambi even at the bag at first. Lopez at third. And a strike on the inside corner. 1-1. Coghlan drove in a run with a sacrifice fly last night. Also had his first triple of the season. It's up, and it's 2-1. And Jimenez, who walked Buck to open the inning, walked Bonifacio. A wild pitch moved them both up. Then he walked Murphy. A strikeout of Johnson. He's 2-1 on Coghlan. Coghlan steps out.
Right now, his velocity is still there, Jimenez, but the command has left him.
Outside, 3-1.
So there's the velocity, 96, but the ball moving all over the place. Starting to get a little impatience from his manager, Jim Tracy.
He's dialing up the bullpen to see if Mortensen is ready. 3-1 to Coghlan. Went after it. It's a fly ball to the left. Not too deep. Buck is tagging. Gonzalez has a great arm. And Buck has to hold. He would have been nailed had he tried it. So it's up to Infante now.
What a momentum changer if Jimenez is able to get out of this. Bases loaded, nobody out situation. He's gotten 2 outs. And he's pitched Infante very well today.
If he does get out of it, about the only thing the Marlins can take from this is that they've pushed him almost to his limit. His next pitch will be his 91st.
Well, he's up second when the Rockies bat in the 6th inning. So this is probably going to be it for him.
Infante bounced to short and struck out. Check swing. No swing. John Tumpain, the first base umpire, has been a little more stingy with the check swings. He's gone the hitter's way, where Dan Iasonia has gone the pitcher's way, down third base way. And it is by far one of the toughest calls an umpire can make. We look at it in slow motion from a side view. They get one look in real time.
And they'll tell you that, too, that it's one of the toughest calls.
Bases loaded. 2 outs. 1-1 coming. In the dirt, I'll tell you what, Morales has done a heck of a job handling Jimenez. He's blocked a few balls in the dirt already in this ball game. Because this can't be a comfortable guy to catch. There's Buck. Got great speed with Bonifacio at second, and good speed as well with Murphy at first base. 2-1 coming. Infante, a liner in a right center. It's a base hit. Buck will score. Bonifacio will score. Here comes Murphy. He's going to score. It's a triple. It's 3-0.
For a guy who has been so tremendous in his career with runners in scoring position, it's been a rough go for Omar Infante early on. But you have a guy up there who's not a strikeout guy, and you had a good feeling he was going to make contact. He got himself in a hitter's count and put that solid swing, that swing we saw all spring from Omar Infante, and how huge is that for Josh Johnson?
The first hit of the ball game for either team is a bases clearing triple.
Doesn't try to do too much. Fastball's out over the plate, and he just sends it into right center with a solid, compact swing.
So Infante's at third. Here's Hanley. He is 0 for 2. Jimenez, 7 strikeouts, 4 walks, 1 hit, 95 pitches. Hanley pops it up. Herrera makes the catch, but Omar Infante gets the first hit of the ball game for either team. A bases loaded triple, a 3-0 lead. Easter Sunday here at the ballpark, and a terrific game. Our Spanish broadcasters, Raul Stryker, Cookie Rojas.
What's up, guys? Tommy, how you guys?
What a way to break up the no-no.
Oh, how about that?
Man,
Those hits we've been looking for a little more consistency from Omar Infante, but he's terrific normally with runners in scoring position.
Yes, he has, and he's always done it in the right moment, and he's going to be all right. I think as long as the season keep on going, he's a good hitter. He sprays the ball all over the place, so it's good to see him do that.
Raul, how do you say Happy Easter in Spanish?
Felices Pascuas. Felices Pascuas, yes, sir.
Felices Pascuas.
Well, Felices Pascuas to you guys.
Likewise, igualmente.
Likewise.
That's how you say igualmente. That's the same to you.
Hopefully the Easter Bunny was good to both of you. Jose Morales, the pitcher's spot, and Dexter Fowler. And J.J. pours in a fastball for a strike. It's 2-1.
How about the job Morales did behind the plate on a couple occasions, saving a couple of runs for Jimenez up until the triple by Infante?
Yeah, we talked about that. It's been a battle for him.
2-1 pitch. Foul back to the screen. All right, guys, it's been a great ride so far. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Keep it going.
Thanks, you too, fellas.
Morales was a strikeout victim in the 3rd inning. Josh's line in his 5 innings of work, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and this is pitch number 68 coming. Breaking ball, Gabby's over. So is JJ. First out of the 6th inning. Marlin fans, present your Miccosukee Ultimate Rewards Players Club at the stadium box office starting 2 hours prior to any Marlins home game to receive a $10 discount on up to 8 infield box seats. Offer cannot be combined and is subject to availability. Miccosukee Resort and Gaming. Get in the game. The end of the road for Ubaldo Jimenez. Ryan Spilborg's off the bench as a pinch hitter for the Rockies.
I guess you could say a little success. 2 for 6 in his career against JJ.
As Tommy pointed out last night, Spilborg's made a nice home for himself in Colorado. A versatile outfielder, a good pinch hitter, and he'll get some starts against lefties.
You know, the only guy that we've seen over the last couple of years that has hit a home run off Josh Johnson's Ian Stewart, and he's not on their roster right now.
Stewart sent down after the great 1-1 pitch. Foul back after Ty Wigginton has played well defensively at third, and Wigginton, the third baseman right now. Jose Lopez has struggled offensively. Lopez is probably the better defensive player of those two. 1-2 coming. Slider got him. 6th strikeout for JJ.
Not an easy assignment to come off that bench when you've watched Josh Johnson throw, and boy, the slider, not only does it move a little away, look at the bottom fall out of it to get Spilborg's.
Now Dexter Fowler called out on strikes in the first, went down swinging in the third.
Has to feel good for JJ out there now with a little bit of a cushion with the 3 runs his team gave him.
Also has to feel good for JJ that the Marlins bullpen has pitched so well this year. 7 of his wins were blown last year. He was 11-6 in 28 starts. And the Marlins penned the best ERA in the majors so far this year.
A tight-knit group down there too. Talk about cohesiveness with the team, with the roster, but also you break that down, and the bullpen is like that.
96 miles an hour. 2-2 coming. Slider. Fowler banged it off his foot.
Interesting watching Josh today. A few curveballs, not as many as we've seen, but just enough. He's not going to throw that here to Fowler.
2-2. Missed away with a fastball. You see that 96, he just touched it again. That's been the highest velocity so far. This is one of those at-bats that JJ would like to end rather than continue with a steady stream of foul balls. He's at 79 pitches. Fastball, line drive, that's well hit. After it is Coughlin, he won't get it. The first hit for the Rockies. Dexter Fowler, who broke up Anibal Sanchez's no-hitter with a broken bat single in the 9th, breaks up Josh Johnson's no-hitter here in the 6th. And JJ this year has taken a no-hitter into the 8th against Atlanta, the 7th against the Mets, the 5th against the Pirates, and now the 6th against the Rockies.
Yeah, Fowler broke this one up a little more soundly. Hit that ball well. The key was that he got himself in a nice situation, 3-2. He knew he was going to see that fastball and picked up his 9th double of the year.
And he drove a 97-mile-an-hour fastball into the right center field gap. So now Herrera takes strike 1.
Here comes the fastball. It's hard. It's middle of the plate. And Fowler, for the 3rd time, has seen JJ. That's his 3rd at bat. He struck him out the previous 2 times.
Herrera has walked. He has struck out. pulled foul, and he's out in front 0-2. So Jimenez gave up his first hit in the 5th. A 3-run triple by Infante. JJ gives up a 2-out double by Fowler. The Rockies' first hit here in the 6th. One and two. Liner, that's trouble. To right, bangs off the wall. Herrera with good speed has got himself a double, and the Rockies are on the board. Back-to-back doubles, Fowler and Herrera. And up comes Carlos Gonzalez.
Well, a couple of guys at the top of the order. Third time around. Good swing, good one by Fowler, good one by Herrera. Back-to-back doubles.
Gonzalez lined to left his last time up, and he tapped back to the mound back in the 1st. Now the focus for the Fish, try to take 2 of 3 from the Rockies. Colorado comes in with the best road record in the National League, 8-2. And the Rockies really struggled on the road last year. They were 19 games under the 500 mark. 23 over at home.
And the Marlins want to stay as closely as they can to the Phillies. The Phillies have won 4 straight. They've won the first 3 games of their series in San Diego, and they have Roy Halladay going today.
Could you imagine that Phillies rotation pitching half of their games at Petco in San Diego instead of Philadelphia, Citizens Bank Park? David Wright has homered a couple times, and the Mets are beating Arizona 8-1 in the 6th. Mets are starting to score some runs.
Yeah, they're starting to swing the bats. Jason Bay and Ike Davis homered last night.
Two-1. That's fouled back.
Those things always get our Mets insider a little more excited.
Nova High's Mike Morse has hit his first homer of the season, a 3-run shot. And the Nationals lead the Pirates 4-1 in the 5th. Two and two to Carlos Gonzalez. Buck can't get the handle on this one. Ricky Nolasco start tomorrow night. John Garland for the Dodgers. The Dodgers are in Chicago,
where it's in the mid-50s, I might add.
But no worries there. The Cubs are batting in the bottom of the 1st, and already there's been 7 runs scored in the game. The Dodgers have a 5-2 lead. Three-two. There's a look at Herrera. Fowler broke up the no-hitter with a double. Herrera followed with another double.
By far the most pitches JJ's had to throw in any inning. 27 so far in the 6th.
No swing. And Now comes Tulowitzki, and all of a sudden, you got the tying run at first, and now the Marlins bullpen reluctantly jumps into action.
And the interesting thing, the most pitches in any other inning was 14. So he's really had to extend himself here in this 6th inning.
Tulowitzki is bounced out, popped out. Three walks now for Josh Johnson.
This is where he has to reach back. You have one all-star against another all-star.
Got pretty good speed at first base with Gonzalez. Same with Herrera at third. Ground ball, Infante. JJ gets out of it. The Rockies get their first hit and their first run, but the Marlins hang on to the lead. The ballpark and a terrific game. Marlins up 3-1. Just a couple hits for the Rockies, the one hit for the Marlins. How about a Tommy's tip?
Now, first of all, watch Ryan Webb comes off, makes a play on this swinging bunt. But look at Omar Infante, the second baseman, backing up. And because the throw went past Gabby Sanchez, Omar Infante is right there. And I think the key for youngsters is when you're on the field, even if the play isn't right at you, you can always be on the move. You can always back up a bag. You can always go somewhere. You never know what's going to happen. So don't stand flat-footed when you're on the ball field.
This is Clayton Mortensen out of Rexburg, Idaho, via Gonzaga University and Treasure Valley Community College in Oregon. That's the same community college that Jason Hamill went to, last night's starter for the Rockies.
Probably saw some good basketball up at Gonzaga, too.
Mortensen takes over for Jimenez, Gabby Sanchez, Mike Stanton, and John Buck. Popped him up. Giambi and Morales for a look.
Certainly a little different look than what the Marlins saw from Ubaldo Jimenez. The bullpen, the Marlins bullpen right now, Rich, is quiet. So you would expect one more good inning out of JJ, get him through 7, and then we'll probably see a little work out of the bullpen. Unless he has a real low pitch inning.
Rockies acquired Mortensen from Oakland in the offseason. Gabby fouls it back. Mortensen has been in the big leagues with the Cardinals briefly. I mean, real briefly. Appeared in one game back in 09. And in 7 games with Oakland in 09 and in 2010. Gabby lines it foul.
Yeah, the Rockies, and this is probably by design, but I would imagine will change. Playing with one more pitcher and one less extra man. Most clubs now, especially in the National League, will have 5 extra men. The Rockies with just 4.
Lopez, high throws. Did he get him? Out. No argument from Gabby. It looks like a good call from John Tumpane. Here comes Edwin, though, to offer a little bit of an argument.
What an effort by Gabby Sanchez. This is the kind of way he plays the game. It's a tough decision for a runner, and it's a quick decision. He sees Giambi right about here come off the bag. As soon as he sees Giambi come off the bag, he tries to change his direction and get down in a slide. That's not easy to do. As soon as he makes the decision, Giambi with a good play. Let's see if he touches him. Yep. Like he got him right on top of the shoulder, so good call.
Call by a rookie umpire. Boy, Stan had a fastball to hit there, and he fouled it off.
You're always taught as a runner, and it's a little extra tip here on Kids Sunday. When you're going up the line, if you can do it, because it's hard to do, if you see the first baseman go up in the air, leave the bag, then you can get down, if you have time, to get down in some sort of a slide to avoid a tag, which is what Gabby tried to do.
Stanton rolls one up the middle. Herrera was playing imperfectly. 2 ground ball outs for Clay Mortensen. Our Nissan Road ahead. Dodgers tomorrow night. And a 3-game series. Wednesday, remember, is a noon start with Anibal Sanchez and Chad Billingsley. Some good arms for the Dodgers in that series. And, of course, Nolasco, Volstead, Sanchez for the Fish. Reds for 3, Cardinals for 4 the next road trip. And we'll see the Phillies and the Nationals come to town.
Tough trip. See some good teams. Cincinnati and St. Louis.
John Buck has walked twice. I think Morales and Dale Scott were having a conversation after that last pitch. 2-0. Buck had walked just 4 times coming into the ballgame. And his walk in the 5th was an important one. That followed the 4 brilliant innings by Jimenez. But Buck worked a walk, and then Jimenez walked Bonifacio. A wild pitch moved both Buck and Bonifacio up a base. Murphy then walked. Bags were loaded, nobody out, but JJ was up, and he struck out. And Jimenez then got Coughlin to hit a shallow fly ball to the left, and it wasn't deep enough to score the run from third. That put Omar Infante in the spotlight. And remember the frustrations that Infante had last weekend on the Sunday in Philadelphia. He came up a couple of times in key spots. Well, this time, with Jimenez throwing a no-hitter, Infante drilled one in the gap in right center for a 3-run triple. John Buck is channeling his inner Giambi here. Very selective at the plate. Took a rip at that inside fastball. Herrera makes the catch, and Mortensen goes 1-2-3 through the Fish in the 6th.
Afternoon, Marlins lead the Rockies 3-1. Sights and sounds around the ballpark. You always see something different. Want to show you something we saw heading into the ballpark this weekend. Marlin reliever Clay Hensley out in the west parking lot with a golf club and hitting some range balls. Now, he says he plays an awful lot during the off season, but of course during the season can only get out on off days, so he does this to keep sharp. Clay says he plays to about a 5 handicap, and based on what we've seen at the Marlins annual golf tournament and what Clay tells us, the best golfer on the team is Josh Johnson. Hensley puts himself and Brian Sanchez second and third. Guys, by the way, JJ told me before he headed down for spring training from Las Vegas, he shot 4 rounds in the 70s, including a 71, the first time he had ever shot under par for 18 holes. Rich and Tommy?
And JJ is a guy, Frank and Tommy, that just kind of took up golf without any lessons late in his athletic career. It's not a sport that he's been playing since he's small. So he's just picked it up and is a natural scratch guy.
Yeah, it was a nice swing by Clay Hensley. It was also a nice curveball, that last strike to Giambi.
1-2 is outside to Jason Giambi. 2-2. Foul back. Giambi, 7 years with Oakland, 7 years with the Yankees, 8 postseasons, only 1 World Series appearance, and that was 2003 with the Yankees against the Marlins. It's that one well to center. Coughlin going back. Chris reaches up and makes the catch. Giambi can still swing it.
416 career home runs.
And you see, he and JJ, the workout partners in the offseason in Las Vegas, pass each other. In fact, that's one of the reasons I think JJ moved to Las Vegas. A little better weather in the offseason and lots of golf. And, of course, he found that gym.
So it was twofold. He got himself in terrific shape and lowered his handicap.
Seth Smith is 0 for 2. This is Giambi going past JJ. JJ said something.
Probably said something like, not in this park.
It's one of the things Giambi told me before the ballgame about JJ, because he really hadn't known JJ much until this winter when he was working out at that gym. He said, humble, unassuming, hardworking. Giambi said the first couple of weeks that JJ went through the program just absolutely hammered him. And JJ has said that as well, that after the first couple of weeks he wasn't sure that he was going to make it.
And he thought he was in pretty good shape. But the whole thing, when he talked about the core, working on the core and how that takes away from stress on the shoulder, it just strengthens every part of the body, and that's why he's gotten himself in such good shape. And certainly off to a great start.
2-2 coming to Seth Smith. Flips one out in the left center field for a base hit. Bonifacio cuts it off. The Rockies have their 3rd hit of the game. And they'll bring the tying run to the plate, Jose Lopez. Full season ticket plans in the new Marlins ballpark available now. Select your seats in the new ballpark and be part of the future of Marlins baseball in Miami. Place a deposit today. Just call the new Marlins ballpark sales headquarters at 1-877-411-2012 or go to marlins.com/new ballpark. All the steel up for the roof, the fabric being attached now. Tommy, you were talking about Lopez and the years that he had in Seattle. In 2008, he had 41 doubles. In 2009, he had 42 doubles. 25 homers in 2009 and drove in 96 runs.
Kind of a guy that up in the Northwest and being on a bad ball club, you just don't hear too much about.
He really dropped off last year. Hit just 239. His on-base percentage dipped to 270. He had a lot of company, though. That was one of the worst offensive teams in Major League history last year in Seattle. And they're, again, struggling to score runs this year.
Bullpen is busy now with Mike Dunn, the lefty, and Ryan Webb, the righty, with JJ's pitch count at 107, just trying to get through this 7th inning. I know he'd like to get through this 7th inning. But with the score as it is, each time the Rockies get a man on base, they bring the tying run to the plate.
Let's go. Burn it by him. Oh, that's big.
Inside corner. That's one of those calls where Buck had to move across the plate to catch it. Counts 2-1. That slider catches the corner. Lopez doesn't like the call.
I don't think he liked the one before either.
No.
So from 2-0, it's 2-2. This one was a slider, kind of backed up a little bit, but I think a strike. Again, not where the target was set by John Buck.
Quick throw to first. Smith is back. The Rockies head to Chicago for a 3-game series with the Cubs after this. Of course, the Marlins welcome in the Dodgers.
So they'll pass somewhere in the skies. They'll pass the Dodgers coming to South Florida from Chicago.
That's a tough road trip to Pac-4.
Yeah, the Dodgers are having the same dilemma in reverse.
Morales, the number 8 hitter, is on deck. JJ 3-2 count here with 1 out. Smith is running. Lopez pops it up. Buck takes a look up, and it's out of play. John going with the sunglasses. This is one of the worst stadiums in all of baseball for glare in a day game.
Well, there are a lot of reasons for that because there are a lot of empty seats, to be quite honest. Empty seats and white shirts don't make it real comfortable for infielders and outfielders.
And sunshine, you'll hear players say that it's a high sky here. What exactly does that mean, a high sky? That's usually absence of clouds?
Absence of clouds you see a lot in spring training, Arizona and Florida.
Got some here
today. A few clouds, though, today.
Runner goes. Ground ball short. Hanley has it. Across to first in time.
Yeah, with clouds, you have a little something to measure the ball when it's in the air. With just blue sky, which makes it a high sky, it's you don't have that same measure.
Here's Morales. Smith at second. Morales has struck out, bounced out. This really feels like the last inning for Josh Johnson. He's at 113 pitches. If you've just joined us, JJ carried a no-hitter into the 6th inning. In 4 of his 5 starts now, he has carried a no-hitter at least into the 5th.
Well, this is the most number of pitches he's thrown this year. 109, the most he threw in Atlanta in his 7 1/3 innings against the Braves, giving up that 1 hit to Freddie Freeman.
So in Atlanta, he got to the 8th with a no-hitter. Against the Mets on opening night, he got to the 7th with a no-hitter. Today he gets to the 6th with a no-hitter. In his last start against the Pirates, he got to the 5th.
Basically, he's given up 13 base hits, and this is his 5th start.
1-1. Just missed.
And you know that JJ's determined to get through this inning, to get the 7 innings.
Got a dangerous bat on deck, though. Ty Wigginton. Ground ball, foul. Evens the count, though, at 2-2. There is Wigginton. It's been a nice 2-week run for the Marlins. They went to Houston and took 2 of 3. Went to Atlanta, took 2 of 3. In Philadelphia, they were rained out 1 game, and so they split the 2 that they played against the Phillies. Home to sweep the Pirates, and have split so far with the Rockies. JJ trying to finish off Jose Morales. Popped him up. Left center shallow. Bonifacio makes the catch. JJ gets through 7. Hangs on to the lead. And gets a nice ovation. Right-handers filthy today.
Well, we build it as a pitcher's duel, and it has lived up to that. JJ was tough. And how about Ubaldo Jimenez? Equally as tough until he ran into a little trouble in the 5th inning. He got a little wild. A walk to John Buck. A walk to Bonifacio. An error. He made a poor throw on a pickoff attempt. Another walk. Donnie Murphy. Then he got a couple of quick outs, and it was Omar Infante shooting a ball into right center field, clearing the bases with a triple, and at the time putting the Marlins up 3-0. That was the first hit and only hit so far of the Marlins today.
And obviously a big one. The difference in the game. A 3-1 Marlins lead. Bottom of the 7th inning. The Gonzaga right-hander Clay Mortensen will continue on for the Rockies. And the Marlins try to add on. Tommy, one of our favorite nights of the year is coming up, and you have a chance to spend the night with us here at the ballpark and be part of the Ford Fantasy Auction. It's always a big night. We raise a lot of money for a great cause, and it's May 19th against the Cubs. Now, a ticket will get you into the dinner for a gourmet all-you-can-eat meal. It gets you a box seat in the ballpark to watch the game, and a meet and greet photo opportunity with a Marlins player and Jeff Conine, Mr. Marlin. So you get a Marlins player and Jeff Conine, a chance to take a picture with them. You get a ticket to the game and an all-you-can-eat gourmet buffet, and it's the Cubs. And we got a lot of great prizes. That you saw the shots of Wrigley Field. Our road trip with the Marlins this year is to Chicago for a 4-game, 3-night trip to Chicago. You get 3 nights in the team hotel, the historic Drake Hotel. You get dinner at Harry Carey's restaurant, world famous restaurant there. And in one of the games, you'll get to sit in the famous rooftop seats. The Cubs own one of those apartment buildings that have the rooftop seats. So you'll get tickets to all 4 games, and one of those games you'll be in the rooftop seats. That's just one of the prizes.
Maybe we could get Craig Minervini to go out to the rooftop seats and talk to you.
That's a given. You'll also get on television a lot because if you buy that package. But if you log on to that website, marlins.com/fantasy, the details of the dinner are on there, and you can actually buy your dinner tickets and make your dinner reservations. $80 per person or $150 for a pair. Matt Reynolds and Matt Belisle. The Play Golf with Tommy Hutton package always goes for a lot. Sharp ground ball. Giambi is down to get it, and he'll step on the bag. And we'll have our pledge packs available here in about 2 or 3 weeks. And our pledge pack spokesman this year is Logan Morrison. There's Clay Hensley in the bullpen.
And I can say I've had just as much fun playing golf with the winners over the last few years. Always have a good time.
Donnie Murphy steps out. So Hensley's getting ready for the 8th. Marlins trying to tack on here in the 7th. Mortensen buries a breaking ball. John Buck is going up in the Goodyear blimp. So if you buy the Goodyear blimp ride this year, John Buck will be tagging along.
So he can make the calls from the blimp.
Yes. Yes. He's an adventurous guy. I mean, he was raised in Utah, born in Wyoming. And so a chance to go up in the Goodyear blimp, he's excited about that. We'll have the Ford big board with all the big experiences. And then the Tommy Bahama surfboard is the little board this year.
And Tommy Bahama, always one of our featured sponsors. We love the shirts.
And Tommy Bahama is back, and Ford is our title sponsor this year. It's the Ford Fantasy Auction.
We make the other announcers jealous when they see us in our Tommy Bahama shirts.
Yes, we do. There's a strike. Donnie Murphy. 3-2. Murphy after a changeup. It did not look like a pain-free swing by Murphy. FoxSportsFlorida.com will give you the latest news and information on your favorite teams, and obviously a lot going on in baseball, in the NBA, in the NHL. So a chance to get you up to date on everything. Here's Ozzie as he'll take the pinch hit appearance. Ozzie, before the game today, was out working at second base on the double play pivot. The Marlins want him to be able to play shortstop and second, and he can do both, and he can do both well.
Yeah, we know he can play short. We saw him at second, saw him in spring training.
Ozzie fouls it at the plate.
You know, it's just a great group. We've talked about the chemistry. Of course, Ozzie's played for Edwin, and you go back a few years, Chris Coughlin played for Edwin in low A. Logan Morrison.
It's a foul ball. Nice play by Lopez, but a foul ball. I asked Mike Dunn today because, you can always ask Lomo or Stanton, guys that have come up in the system and played for Edwin. I asked Mike Dunn today, I said, hey, are you having fun? He goes, I'm having an absolute blast. He said, this group is just terrific.
It's across the board. I remember talking to Greg Dobbs, and he wanted to be politically correct. He didn't want to bash the Philly organization or other organizations he's been with because they were good organizations, and he got a chance to win a World Series with the Phillies. But he said in spring training, he said this was one of the best camps he'd ever been in as far as the way it was run and the people he's been around.
Mortensen misses outside to Ozzie. And it's 1-2. Of course, Ozzie, 2 off seasons ago, nearly lost his life when he was shot 3 times in a mistaken drive-by shooting. The Marlins flew him from Puerto Rico here to Miami for emergency surgery. Edwin was at his bedside that same day. Outside corner, looks at a breaking ball. 2 clean innings from Clay Mortensen. Marlin bullpen takes over in the 8th. Toyota trend. Rockies at Marlins since last year. Fish have won 4 of 6. But the Rockies have outscored the Marlins. Here in this one, obviously a terrific pitching matchup. There have only been 4 hits in the game, and the Marlins have just 1 of them. Charlie Sheen winning. Clay Hensley is in.
Well, certainly a huge part of the success of the Marlins bullpen this year. Clay Hensley, we've seen Clay mostly in the 8th inning. Has a nice assortment of pitches, and he's going to face a tough pinch hitter and Ty Wigginton.
Wigginton, a sharp ground ball, base hit into left field. The Wigginton, who always hits well in this ballpark, singles. And Hensley has a base runner to deal with, and he's got the top of the order. Dexter Fowler, Jonathan Herrera, and Carlos Gonzalez. Fowler takes outside. I have a hard time believing Fowler is trying to bunt or sacrifice bunt here. with the Rockies down 2.
No, he's just trying to get on for the big poppers.
Swings and misses. It's 1-1.
The guy who is over on the bench with the tremendous success against Hensley is Todd Helton, 6 for 14 with a home run.
He does bunt. Gonna be a tough play, and Fowler is safe. That was between Hensley and Buck. Hensley backed up and let Buck take it, and that one little hesitation allowed Fowler to beat it.
One of those bunts kind of in no man's land. It's either or, and you have to make a decision quickly. A lot of times we see Clay make that play because he's a good fielder out there. He turned it over to John Buck, but by the time Buck had to turn, make the throw, Fowler with his speed was able to beat it.
Here's Herrera. Now this is a different spot. He'll be trying to move the runners up, and he fouls it at the plate. So the Rockies have the tying runs aboard. A single by Wigington and a bunt single by Fowler. Gabby at first, Murphy at third, both on the grass, both looking bunt. Wheel play is on, and it goes through Buck's glove.
Well, you have to wonder if that was a cross-up. It's going to be a pass ball. The Marlins trying to get the lead runner with the wheel play on, with Hanley racing over to third, but it doesn't do you any good when you miss this badly. And then John Buck having trouble. I just have to wonder if that was a cross-up, because he didn't even come close to making that catch.
Every now and then you'll hear a catcher say in a bunt situation, sometimes they'll lose sight of the ball with the bat out in front of the plate.
That's why hitters will do that when runners are stealing, too, once in a while.
Here's the 1-1. Popped him up. Murphy over. Donnie has room and makes the catch. Hensley has an out, but he's got Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki, and Jason Giambi on the way.
And Gonzalez, even though he's off to a slow start, he's had an 0-for-9 series, still has 12 RBIs on the season.
Dunn getting up. I would suspect Dunn is up for Giambi and Smith. Tulowitzki on deck. Cargo, as he's called in Denver and throughout the Rocky Mountain region. Good article in Baseball America by our buddy Jerry Krasnick about Carlos Gonzalez and his path to the Rockies. Good changeup by Hensley. And it's 1-1.
One of the nice equalizers that Clay Hensley has to go along with the curve with a live fastball, but that excellent changeup.
One.
Boy, that's a good pitch there. It was a good take by Carlos Gonzalez, but watch this ball move. It's where it crosses the plate. Caught it a little low, but I'll tell you what, even without box tracks, which we don't have because of technical difficulties, that looked like a pretty good pitch.
That's a strike. And that looked like the same spot.
So after a couple of changeups and a good fastball to kind of lock up Carlos Gonzalez.
And again, if you've just joined us, our apologies. We do not have Fox Tracks today. The ballpark, including our production truck, took a huge power hit a half hour before game time, knocking out a lot of our equipment. Just glad to be able to televise the game at all. There's Ty Wigginton. We saw Fowler second base. 2-2 to Carlos Gonzalez. Hensley in the dirt. Buck had to swallow that one up.
Keep in mind, too, excellent speed at second base in Dexter Fowler.
We talked about Gonzalez being traded from two organizations in big name trades. The Heron trade from Arizona to Oakland, the Holiday trade from Oakland to Colorado. In that article by Jerry Krasnick, he said one of the saving graces when Gonzalez arrived in Colorado was Don Baylor, the hitting coach, who kind of took him under his wing, smoothed out his swing. 3-2. Liner to left. Bonifacio over there, makes the catch. Wigginton tags. He's going to score. And the Rockies are within a run. 2 outs. And it's Hensley against Tulowitzki now.
Well, the bullpen hasn't given up too many runs. That's one of the few runs they've allowed in quite some time.
There are your matchup numbers. Hensley against Tulowitzki. Some of that goes back with Hensley's time with the Padres. You have lightning speed at second. Tulo drives it left center field. That's trouble. That's a tie game. Fowler's going to score. Tulowitzki has a double. And the Rockies, who last year had 26 comeback wins, 20 wins in their last at bat, have tied it here in the 8th. And the Marlins bullpen, who blew 7 of Josh Johnson's wins last year, have blown one here.
Boy, look at that pitch up. A lot of pitches up in this inning for Hensley. We don't see that too often. And when you hang a pitch to a guy like Tulowitzki, you pay the price. And the price has been paid. And the Rockies have tied it. And a no decision for JJ.
Probably the biggest play in this inning was the Marlins not getting it out on the Dexter Fowler bunt. So Hensley exits.
And a pass ball.
And 2 plays that have snowballed. It's 3-3. Here is Dunn. Here's Arboruni. Call to the pen.
When you need a car, truck or van.
Eighth inning. And Clay Hensley hanging his head. The Marlins bullpen has finally given up a run. They actually give up 2 here in the 8th. And Mike Dunn comes in. You see his numbers, outstanding this year, his 8th appearance. And he gets Jason Giambi.
Well, he gets the left-handed bat at Giambi. And Seth Smith is on deck, another lefty.
This is only the 2nd at bat of the year against a lefty for Giambi. Done with a fastball that misses in. This was a game where both starters flirted with no hitters. Marlins got their only hit, a 3-run triple by Infante in the 5th. Dexter Fowler's double with 1 out in the 6th, the first hit for the Rockies.
Yeah, it's really a crazy game. I mean, tie game, but the Marlins have been out hit 6-1.
He went around 1-2.
Yeah, home plate umpire Dale Scott didn't even need to ask for help on that one.
Giambi getting the start in place of Todd Helton. Matt Reynolds and Rafael Betancourt in the Rockies bullpen. Rockies pen very, very good. 1-2 pitch. Dunn misses away. Giambi last year actually hit better against lefties, 277, than righties, 233. In both cases, his on-base percentage enormous against either side. 390 against lefties, 374 against righties. Fouls it in and out of the glove of Buck. 2-2. And he was part of that 09 end of season run by the Rockies to the postseason. He had a lot of big hits. They brought him back last year. He continued to have some clutch pinch hits, pinch hit homers. Another 2-2. Buck is having a hard time today. That one clangs off his glove.
I'm going to guess pass ball. They haven't made a ruling or scoring decision yet.
They're saying that's a wild pitch, but it looked like a pass ball.
Yeah, it did.
The first one this inning was ruled a pass ball. Another one will cost the Marlins a run because Tulowitzki's at third. Breaking ball, Giambi just stays alive.
Well, the game's also kind of taken on a whole different tone. And that's why you've got to shut things down, and hopefully Mike Dunn can do that and then give your offense a couple of pops if needed in the 8th and possibly 9th inning.
Marlins have the top of their order coming up in the bottom of the 8th. Dunn trying to get him there, tied at 3. Giambi, as he's done throughout his career, Tom, he's always been a battler, a guy that doesn't have the enormous strikeout numbers, always has big walk numbers.
Every time he's up there, you get the feeling it's a 2-2 count, a 3-2 count. He always goes deep into counts.
In the dirt, Buck has to smother it. Now you got another lefty and Smith coming up, and Giambi has walked for the 2nd time in this game. Giambi has walked 1,300 times in his career. He has 1,440 strikeouts. So active walk leaders, Giambi on that list, and some speed off the bench. Ismail Rogers a pitcher. So Rogers is pinch running. Here now is Smith, who's 1 for 3. And Buck really having to be careful on every pitch. Be interesting to ask John if the glare, the day game, or what it has been that has caused him to have trouble seeing the ball.
He's had some struggles, especially in this inning.
Dunn pours across a strike, and it's 1-1 to the former Ole Miss star. Jim Tracy, manager of the year in 2009, after he took over for Clint Hurdle. The Rockies went 74-42 under him and got to the postseason as the wild card.
Managed the Dodgers 5 years, Pirates a couple of years.
When he managed the Dodgers for 5 years, he had 1 losing season, and that was his last. And he was fired.
Yeah, thanks a lot for showing up.
So it's got to be extra sweet for him when the Rockies beat the Dodgers these days. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Of course, any team that beats the Dodgers a lot this year would hesitate in saying that they own the Dodgers.
Somebody will be. By the way, the struggles of Hensley and Dunn in this inning so far have been command. Clay Hensley didn't have the good command, and Mike Dunn has been struggling. He walked the left-handed batter Giambi. He's behind Smith 3-1.
Good fastball at 93. Full count. Rogers will be running from first. Tulowitzki's at third. Got him. Dunn strikes out Smith. Marlins bullpen gives up 2. Game is tied. Marlins got a taste of it last night.
A little bit of Matt Lindstrom. Then we saw the tough right-hander Betancourt. He throws hard. Houston Street, their closer, comes in, knows how to pitch, made a lot of good pitches. They got some defensive help. Ground ball out. Tulowitzki showing off his arm. Then a nice play to end the game the other night. Backhanded just to get Bonifacio at first base. So we've seen a touch of the Rockies bullpen. There's a list of the numbers. Of course, the Marlins number is going to go up a little bit. Philadelphia right there, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, and then the Rockies in the top 5 as far as bullpen ERAs.
JM Lexus presenting our leaders of the game. It's not Betancourt out of the pen first. It's the lefty Reynolds. He bends one outside.
Yeah, Rich, probably just to face Chris Coghlan. Got that deceptive left-hander delivery. Big breaking ball.
Good sharp curveball. 1-1.
And then with right-handers to follow, we'll see Jim Tracy. There's Ty Wigginton. He stays in the game. He's at first base.
So the Rockies have used Wigginton and Spilborghs off the bench. That's why Jim Tracy pinch ran with a pitcher, Ismael Rogers. He has just 2 bench players left, and one of them, Chris Ioneta's got a sore back. Todd Helton is the other. And Coghlan is dispatched pretty quickly.
Well, the offense is going to have to get a wake-up call here pretty soon. Just 1 base hit today. Have to be happy that it's a 3-3 tie, and as expected, Reynolds just in there to face Chris Coghlan. Tracy will go to his bullpen again.
You got 2 scoreless from Clay Mortensen, and Reynolds will hand off to Betancourt. Rooney called to the pen.
When you need a car, truck, or van.
Baseball basics, middle reliever.
Pitcher enters the game in the middle innings. I think that term has taken over a little different meaning. There was kind of a time when the middle reliever was a washed-up guy, the 25th man on the roster, but now middle relievers, setup guys have become very important.
Matt Belisle comes out of the bullpen, and Belisle misses down low.
We saw Betancourt down there warming up.
Chopper over the head of Lopez, down the line, Infante around. But Carlos Gonzalez won a gold glove. And you see the arm that he's got. Infante's second hit. Infante has the only 2 hits for the Fish.
Stays on top of this at hard dirt out in front of home plate. A little drier later in the game, chops high in the air and gets over the head of the third baseman, Jose Lopez.
So the Marlins find themselves with Hanley Ramirez at the plate, mired in a big-time slump. 0 for 3 in this one. He's flied out, bounced out, popped out. And Belisle misses outside.
Pretty good stuff. We've said that with just about every pitcher coming out of that bullpen for the Rockies. Good control usually. Fastball in the low to mid 90s.
See Hanley's career numbers against this right-hander. Outfield very deep. And that's the pitch right there. That fastball down the middle. Hanley's had trouble pulling the trigger on that one early in counts, and then ends up chasing later in the count.
Right
just
now,
missed.
Hanley just 1 for 20 on this homestand.
The amazing thing, of course, is that the Marlins are 12-7 and off to the second best start in franchise history.
The other really disturbing number, he came into the game hitting 146 against right-handed pitching, and he's 0 for 3 against right-handers today.
Infante's at first. 2-2. And it really becomes apparent now that Logan Morrison is out of the lineup. Hanley's struggles really become evident because Morrison, with his high on-base percentage, he and Gabby always getting on base. That's where the Marlins offense has come from this year.
Interesting, he's not quite as open as he was first couple of at-bats. I mean, he's still open, but not quite as much.
Rockies have tied it with 2 runs in the top of this inning. Marlins have Infante at first. Matt Belisle third out of the pen for the Rockies, and Hanley ties himself up on a breaking ball and goes down swinging.
I'm telling you, when you get into that funk, you just never feel comfortable when you stand into the batter's box. I wouldn't be surprised. Don't know if it's a process that Edwin's thinking about, but if we saw him sit Hanley down one game and get Ozzie in there at shortstop, just to kind of clear his head, maybe work on a couple of things, which he's doing already.
Gabby takes down low. If you're thinking about a ball in the gaps with a runner at first and 2 outs, certainly Gabby can deliver that. But this is a speedy and a very good outfield. Fowler in center, Gonzalez in left, Smith in right.
And they're deep right now, too, to try to cut off anything in the gap.
Ball and a strike. For the Marlins, it's been Omar Infante, and that's it. He has both hits in this game. Low and inside, 2-1. Gabby homered in the first game of the series on Friday night. Mike Stanton is on deck. Three and one. Let's see what Gabby gets here. Fastball, and he fouled it back.
All right, it's going to help a little bit. Infante will be on the move. lot of frustration in Hanley Ramirez.
Infante moving. Gabby takes outside, and Stanton gets an at-bat with runners first and second and 2 outs. Bob Apodaca.
Probably a quick little scouting report to Belial on Stanton. Mike trying to keep a hit streak alive. Came into the game with a 6-game hitting streak. 0 for 2 today. He's been on base once. He was hit by a pitch.
Boy, the last few innings of this game feel absolutely nothing like the first 6 innings of this game, which just flew by with Ubaldo Jimenez and Josh Johnson throwing dueling no-hitters into the 5th. That's when Jimenez lost his. JJ lost his in the 6th.
There was excitement, anticipation. People were on the edge of their seats. Now you're hoping for a big hit from Mike Stanton.
Here we go. Stanton against Belial. Fonte a big lead at second. Fastball's low. Breaking ball, drive left field. Get out of here.
That'll wake everybody up.
3-run shot. Marlins on top, 6-3.
What an absolute blast from Mike Stanton.
It looked like he was sitting on a breaking ball after a first pitch fastball. And that ball absolutely was crushed, flattened.
At first look, it appeared to be a slider right in his zone. Mike's second home run of the year. Yeah, he kept that hitting streak alive. How about doing it with a 3-run homer?
Crowd wants a curtain call, and they get it. Here's Buck now. And the Marlins have 6 runs on 3 hits. Here's that pitch, Tommy.
Let's see what that slider is. Oh, on a platter, backed up in his wheelhouse. And look at Stanton's head right on the ball, and he crushed it.
Clay Hensley has to feel pretty good about watching that ball get out of the ballpark. You could see how bothered he was by giving up the 2 runs in the 8th.
He's still going to feel bad just because he gave up the chance for JJ to win a game. Here's wheelhouse, baseball basics, a hitter's power zone. Usually about waist high, right over the middle of the plate.
Buck goes after a fastball. Two and 2. Nunez ready in the pen. And it's low. That's a similar pitch and location, the first pitch to Stanton in his at bat. Nice to have the big guy back. Struck him out. Down goes Buck. But out goes Mike Stanton with a 2-out, 3-run homer. Exit, stage left. Is brought to you by Marooney. South Florida, when you need a car, truck, or van, who are you going to call? 1-877-Marooney. By Checkers, little place, big taste. And by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Easter Sunday in Miami. And Mike Stanton almost knocks one out of the park, up the hallway, and into the concourse. And now Leo Nunez has to shut the door on the Rockies.
Mike, just thinking of the fans, wanted to send everybody home for an early Easter dinner. That's all. Now it's up to Leo Nunez to try to nail down his 6th save of the year. He's 5 for 5 in that department so far.
Jose Lopez trying to bunt. And there's Scott Cousins. Cousins has come in for Stanton in right field, but in a double switch. So he's in the 9th spot. Nunez is hitting in the 5th spot. And of course, Cousins gives you a little more mobility. Stanton still slowed a bit by the hamstring issue. Got him. Power changeup. And a changeup that just has a ton of run to it.
Yeah, that's not a straight change that just kind of floats over the plate. That has a lot of movement.
If Nunez can save it, Mike Dunn will have won it. First pitch swinging. Morales hits it in the air. Hanley calls for it. You can see the wind take Hanley all the way back onto the infield. 2 down. Here comes Wigginton, second at bat. He singled in his first. Strike one. There's 2.
Tell you what, Leo Nunez has come in pumping strikes with an assortment of stuff.
As Tommy pointed out, he's been perfect this season. 11,442 on an Easter Sunday. The Marlins trying to take 2 or 3 from the Rockies. Nunez misses down low. The Rockies came in with the best record in the National League. The Phillies, of course, have won 3 in a row down in San Diego. One, 2. Got him. Ball game. Marlins win it. Dueling no-hitters to start it. A big hit by Infante to take the lead. The first bump in the road by the bullpen, but Mike Stanton with a mammoth 3-run homer ends it. Nunez finishes, and the Marlins, after sweeping the Pirates, take 2 of 3 from the first place Rockies, and the Fish continue. 13-7 are the Marlins now. Some finishing touches when we get back.